Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. Where the fuck is Josh? There he is. Okay, so we got everybody in here. I am your host, Roman. I'm back. Yes, I know things went all sideways last week. I apologize for that. You know, I can't attend to the Empire all the time, but I do try. So this week we're going to do a quick recap of episode 1 and then really discuss episode 2 of Secret Invasion. And I think a lot of us kind of have opinions about this show already. I may be wrong, but I think we pretty well do. So I do want to welcome my panel to the show. He is my co-host. He is my wingman. He is the man that prevented me from causing war in Kosovo. He is Shieldwall of Dragons. Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy to be here. Going to talk about this show. So yeah, let's get into it.
Right on, right on. She will tell you if this is the way. It is the Untamed Mando. Welcome back to the show, Mando. It's great to see you.
It's great to be back. I am excited and also appalled that I am actually watching this show. This is actually the only Disney Plus Marvel show that I've actually seen. There was no scissoring. I was disappointed, but there was weird.
It's only 2 episodes. Got to give it some time.
There's time. There is time.
I mean, it was episode 3 in The Last of Us where they started doing. So I'm giving it one more episode before we see some scissoring. Yeah. Roman, in my chat, there is I have a little bot, so you'll see the messages from
okay.
it.
Well, it's fine. Yeah, we are streaming on several different channels because I made that available to the panel so that everybody can get some views out of this. So turn them all on, folks. Turn them all on. He's not just popped by anyone. He is popped by culture. We'd like him. Welcome back once again, our good friend Josh McDonald. How are you tonight, my friend? How'd your exam go?
Great. I passed. I'm done with licensing exams. I have that stress of like, hey, if you don't pass these, you don't have a job. So I'm in a fantastic mood.
Awesome. Congratulations. I'm sorry we're going to bring you down by this conversation, but I do applaud you, sir. Well done. That is awesome news.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
His ancestors will sing the praise of his beard. He is Tyler the Redbeard. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you?
Roman, I'm beginning to think you don't like me. I don't know why you would subject me to a show that's this. I
do apologize. I feel bad.
I'm taking
this may go back to the directions incident in Vegas.
Is that why? Okay.
If you were there, folks, thanks for having me there. You know what happened. Yes, it's great to have you back. He is the nemesis of the Dark Knight, the scourge of Gotham, the man who always leaves a smile on your face. He is Joker Voice. Welcome back to the show, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm glad to be back here with you lovely people. And of course, no show is complete without at least one of my scissor sisters.
We do try.
And this show needs to be treated like Jason Todd.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So we're gonna kind of dive in here. Smile a while. Welcome to the show. Yeah, actually, let me go down the list of the friends who are in attendance tonight. And I know we're fighting the Indiana Jones premiere. Sorry. For the 7 people who are going to see that movie, but it is people like us who are going to see that movie because we want to review it and discuss it. So if you're at that movie, I got you. I understand. So we have Jacob Ironside out there as always. Jacob, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Matt, the Thad that shouldn't be, we'll have him back on soon because he is a fixture here on Of the Empire. America's 2001. Welcome. This may be a first time. I'm not sure, but thank you.
He is my editor.
Oh, excellent.
He is a friend of mine. Yes.
Nosferatu, you glorious undead being. Welcome back, my friend. Always good to see you. Abomination AJ, welcome, buddy. What you're not at Indiana Jones? I'm disappointed, AJ, but that's pretty much my normal state. Rolando Flores, welcome to the panel. Smile while, welcome. Hooligan S3. Hooligans S3. Sorry, my eyes are ancient and I don't see things well because I'm very old. Melvin Deeply, welcome once again, buddy. It's good to see you out there in the world. So that's our chat right now, and we are going to dive balls deep into Nick Fury.
But I don't have balls.
That's right. Neither does Nick Fury anymore. I'm sorry. That was unkind to poor Nick. So I do want to share my screen here for a sec, provided I don't actually wipe out what I'm doing. I actually meant to have this up before, but I've gotten in and out of this fucking thing 17 times now. So this show actually has a pretty decent cast, which is weird.
Yes.
You've got Sam Jackson, Colby Smothers, of course, Ben Mendelsohn, who I probably should know but don't. Amelia Clark, who's completely wasted.
Have you not seen Bloodline, Roman? Netflix? Do you have Netflix?
I do have that. No, I have not seen.
Check.
Is he?
He got a couple episodes of Bloodline. That was like the first thing that kind of blew up on him. He was really good.
Got it. Don Cheadle, who again, good dude. Martin Freeman, who is always a fucking hobbit in everything he's in now. Even if he wasn't a hobbit before, now he's a fucking hobbit. So that's just the way this is going to go. A bunch of people I don't fucking know, and Olivia Colman. Colman, and she to me is the best part of this show.
Agreed.
She's not in it very much, but when she's in it, she fucking owns it. And those are the most enjoyable scenes in the program.
Like that was my favorite scene are with her.
Right?
Like,
so even the scene in episode 1 where she was having her back and forth, and we'll get to that. We just do our run through. Again, it's going to be quick for episode 1. That was the best part of episode 1. To me. I mean, others may disagree, but it's just like, damn. So I'm gonna ask just a question before we even. Does anybody actually like the show? Anybody on this panel actually like the show?
No.
You're not going to get beat up. It's not. There's no Batman versus Superman here. So
I liked aspects of the show, and if those things were done better, I think it would be an enjoyable show. Otherwise, no.
But
I really like the cast. I think that all of the cast members and the crew like have a really it's very like good chemistry. Like so, all of the elements for it being really good are there. It's just the writing sucks.
Yeah. No,
almost as if an AI wrote this script, because we know when AI did the intro.
They did.
So and it's really a shame because you've got a good cast and they're elevating this best they can, and they just don't have a lot to work with.
Oh, that's who he is. Thank you, Matt. Okay, I now know.
Oh yeah, Rogue One too. Yeah,
I actually have a mental reference for myself now. Okay, got it.
But he was great in Bloodline.
Oh, JV DeepMinded. Also, welcome.
Speaking of Rogue One, this show kind of reminds me a little bit of like Andor. It's shot on.
That's what I said. That's what I said in my review.
Real set locations, right? It's not a bunch of the volume or green screen.
It looks good.
Yeah,
the show looks good. I think the soundtrack is excellent.
The intro art is, you said an AI made that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, a post-communist AI? Because it looks like Stalinist era, like.
Well, I mean, a lot of the first couple like episodes take place in Russia, so I think that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying that that's kind of what it looks like to me.
Right.
Yeah, they came out and said that the studio they use, which is one of the top 3 studios that they'll use in Hollywood. They actually had people create renderings, and then they took those renderings and put them through AI. So it's like a 50-50. But it's AI.
Okay.
Hey, Flaccid, good to see you, buddy.
But like the sets are good. They're on real locations.
Yeah.
I don't know if they shot it in Russia, but it looks like it. In a lot of, they did it in Europe somewhere, right? Just because it would have been way too expensive to build sets that actually look like marble buildings and stone buildings and whatever. But yeah, that part's good. It's got a good cast. It's just the writing is
boring.
It's not
good.
And I think it's an interesting premise. Like it's like almost like a Born Supremacy level, but it's just the way it's executed. It's just like so boring. They're just always going somewhere and sitting down.
Right. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think if it was like a 2-hour movie or something, it'd be pretty interesting.
Here's my thing is that if you're a 14, 15-year-old boy, you're not going to like this show because there's, at least in episode 1, there was almost no action. You had to pay too much attention to what was going on to even understand what's happening. And
I don't think this one is targeted for kids, though.
I don't think it is,
it's supposed to be for us.
Yeah. No,
right.
I mean,
which is why the ratings are so bad.
There's a lot more heavy duty stuff. Yeah, Joker.
So my
What's up, Cannoli?
Comparison to Andor is this is an espionage show done. It's mostly done on location. But in Andor, you had a Star Wars espionage show with no Jedi. In Secret Invasion, you're getting a spy espionage show with no superheroes.
Right. Which, if you've read the comic book, and I know many of us have, many of us haven't.
This is not following the Secret Invasion.
This is not Secret Invasion. This is not
at all.
You expected them to follow the comic book?
Well,
I know.
Well, interesting, because the director of this series, after the first one, walked off because of Samuel L. Jackson. When the new guy came on, the first thing the writing team said to him, "Don't read the comics. That's not the story we're telling here.
That's not good." So we're just doing a quick run through of episode 1 here. So there's 2 factions of Skrulls: the good Skrulls and the fucking bad Skrulls. Okay, shocking. They're planning some horrific event which makes Nick Fury come back to Earth from Saber, the space station he's been living on for several years. Swell. There's I guess she's MI6, that Allison lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the British government's, the 00 division essentially also knows about these Skrulls and they want to fucking kill them. Cool, whatever.
All of them. They want scorched earth.
That's true. So the Skrulls.
Can I ask?
Yes. Dive in.
The whole Saber and Nick Fury in space. I guess I missed something. Where was this? Was this a Disney Plus show?
No. This is after the blip.
Yeah, this is after the blip, and they revealed it in Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Mm-hmm.
So the second Spider-Man.
That was like a post-credit scene, and people are like,
what? "Oh yeah,
yeah, Tyler, you didn't watch the 6 movies and other shows in order to figure out what's going on."
I mean, like, I was kind of lost too. Like, I honestly and completely stopped watching anything MCU after Endgame, but I made an exception just for Spider-Man: No Way Home because it had Toby and it had the people. That's it.
I'm pretty much like you on that there, Mando. I haven't watched a lot of stuff Marvel related, so I'm kind of getting thrown back in the deep end here. But
and I never saw Captain Marvel, which is where, of course, 90% of this film has its footage,
origin, right,
of the events that they made in Captain Marvel, which I did not see and will not see.
Well, they showed at the beginning. They showed like the previously on kind of thing with the stuff you needed to know from Captain Marvel. So that helped.
Still didn't help a whole lot because you still don't know who a lot of these motherfuckers are. Right. Then you end up so the Martin Freeman Skrull had this fucking data thing, and Talos. They decode it and they say, okay, they want to try. They're trying to end the world. They're trying to make a world-ending event, causing the world powers to fight each other by causing an attack with, this bomb maker is going to build these bombs. They don't have a place yet, or the real info. This scene that I have up right now was one of my least favorite in episode 1, and I had a lot of scenes I didn't like, but this one I want to talk about for a second because it was so fucking bad. The fucking camp? Yeah. Well, what is it called? It's like Palestine or Skrullville.
Skrullos.
which is stupid. It's a stupid name. The kids are playing soccer. There's grown men pushing each other in carts with a steering wheel.
That was so weird.
This looks like as much of a shithole as you could possibly have. They're living in a burned out nuclear site, basically an abandoned nuclear site.
Which they said, these nuclear plants are off the grid. No, they're not. They are the grid.
Well, also, just because the Skrulls aren't affected by radioactivity, it doesn't mean everything else is not affected by radioactivity. So I'm just throwing that out there as, whatever, it's fine. So you get to meet the leader, whatever the fuck his name is, Gravik. Thank you. I knew it was a G. The thing is, I don't care enough about most of these characters to remember their fucking names.
His entire demeanor is just smug, aloof, and I don't care.
Well, and a lot of the supporting cast, not the primary cast, but a lot of supporting cast, I'm actually including him almost in supporting cast, are very generic looking actors. Amelia Clark ends up being a generic actor in this. She could be replaced by literally anybody and you wouldn't care. She's not that important. She's important to the story in a way because she's Talos' daughter, but you just don't give a fuck. It's just not that big a deal. So they're recruiting people. This is some fucking
how is the Russian just for like a sec, how is the Russian government not doing anything? Like, yeah, granted, these nuclear things are off the radar, but the Russians don't like anyone in their country. Like, what? You think they don't know about like millions of people inside their borders?
So this is like an America only type dude. He's a caricature of of a lot of types of folk, and they want to use him, his image, his thoughts to infiltrate, and they want to blame this event obviously on this guy. So this Skrull takes his face, takes his memories. Ooh, oh, bad stuff. So now they're watching. Nick planted a thing in the MI ladies bomb maker thing. So they go and they find the fucking bomb makers. I'm just running through this episode. They're off to go visit the bomb maker. Hey, I'm at the bomb maker. I am the bomb maker. Nick Fury tracks him down because they watch the fucking video. They question him. He turns out he's a fucking Skrull. Nick kills him because he's not giving the information. And Sad Talos said, I said no. Because even though he was a bad guy and he was causing a problem, Talos didn't want Fury to kill him. Okay. And again, bear with me, folks, for our viewers right now. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to plow through episode 1 so we can get to episode 2. And
this is a much more interesting way to watch episode 1. I wish I would have watched it like this.
Yeah, right?
Hey, Mrs. Cannoli, welcome to
the whole thing out for an
hour. So I said no. So he's kind of pissed at him. Whatever. Okay. Oh, hurt feelings.
I feel like that's a reoccurring theme. Is like everyone's mad at Fury, and Fury's like, "I'm doing what I've always done. Get over yourselves." And they're like,
"But he's been gone for so long, they've forgotten." I guess, Mando. I don't fucking know. So agents.
Did he leave his eye patch in space? Why is he not wearing it?
He did. Apparently, they needed to close some kind of air leak on the spaceship.
Okay.
So for time reference, he's been gone about 6 or 7 years at this point.
Correct.
After the blip.
Well, because of the blip, that's 5 years, and then the moment he got back, he went right back up into space.
Right.
So he's been gone for about 7 years.
He's all PTSD'd out.
And for people that don't know, what is he doing on that space station?
So he's it's supposed to be a defense system to kind of help stop another Thanos from happening. So he's supposed to be strategically organizing that.
Sorry.
I was gonna say there are also lines. So I'm gonna kind of play devil's advocate to the group. I think there are actually some things in this first 2 episodes that are actually written really, really well, and some things that are written terribly. But they've had lines.
I can agree with that, dude.
They have lines referencing that he was sent there because they did not want him involved with anything else actually on Earth. Mainly because of kind of how S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything rolled out, and then he went into hiding after Winter Soldier. So
because S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of failed, and they were like, "We're not going to let you fail again."
Big time. And they kind of laid some groundwork that, this isn't like old beat up Fury. This is more so Fury's just kind of giving up because he realized he's been shunned off to not actually be a part of anything.
Right.
And he's a control freak.
And the saber in the comics used to be called Sword.
Sword. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Maria Hill gets sucked into an ambush by the miniature human. Gaia is the character's name. Not that fucking matters. They have a tussle in a hallway. Talos tracks her down. They have a conversation. Turns out, this is his daughter. He has a chance to stop her with the bombs here. He fucking fails.
This actual scene between Ben and her
wasn't bad. No,
I actually like that scene.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like that scene, but it's mostly because of the performance of Amelia and Ben.
Agreed.
And I like the fact that Amelia Clark is not the boss, and when her fight, she went up against the Maria Hill, not up against some 200-pound guy. So as of right now, Gaia has not been MCU'd
yet.
One aspect of the Skrulls, though, is they're stronger than humans on average.
If she went up against,
right. So she could go up against a regular human and kind of throw them around.
Right.
But the other thing is that they're susceptible to bullets, just like a human is. You shoot them in the head, they're dead.
Right.
You shoot them in the chest 5 times, they're down. So it's just
they're not like invincible. They're just a little extra strong.
Right. A little. Yeah. They have more human strength.
You said to make a poll. I don't know how to do that, Dempsey. I'm sorry.
Make the poll.
I don't fucking know, guys. I have no idea.
Make the poll.
So I feel like Nick Fury does in this scene. You'll never be the man you once were. Says random Russian man here. You don't know who this is. You find out later. Yay, Russians. Maria Hill tells him, you're fucking old. And that's pretty much the conversation. You're old and you should hang it up. That's it. And here he is looking sad in bed, having flashbacks to when he fades away. Okay, not great.
And he got spooked.
Yes. Oh, yes. And then you start getting a lot of, there's some not so subtle race
charged
stuff in this that I personally
help a brother out.
Oh my God, that fucking scene. We'll get to that.
I want to tell
a scene that was going so fucking well, and then it wasn't, and it was like, oh, this is a good scene. I like this, and then immediately left fucking turn, and it was terrible.
I do want to say one thing on that real quick. I feel like because I feel like Samuel L. Jackson is just phoning all of this in. I don't think he's doing nearly as good as he could. But it's also like the writer suddenly realized Samuel L. Jackson is black, and they're like, we have a black man. Let's write him like a black man. And I'm like, oh, God.
Did you know this?
And if we put him in Russia, there's all kinds of jokes we can make with him.
Of course.
Oh, my God, because there's never been a black person.
We're going to make every single one of them.
Which is weird because the closest Nick Fury has ever touched anything near this was in Winter Soldier when he talked about his grandfather who operated a elevator, talking about the neighborhood progressively getting rougher. That's it. There was never been. We get more than a handful of this in episode 2, and we can talk. Well, let's jump into it there because we do get a lot of it there, and a lot of it is absolutely unnecessary, which is pretty much all of it. So here we have Talos talking to his daughter again, and this is when we get convinced that she's actually come back. She's seen the light, and she wants to help out old Pops. So she tells him where the event is going to take, the attack's going to take place. They're going to be carrying bags. The bags are going to be marked, blah, 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 blah. Okay, swell. And this is where he tells them, yes, Gaia's back. Swell. So now we're in, looks like Red Square. I think it's Red. It's some fucking place in Russia. It doesn't really matter. Nick and crew
all of the Russian places with the Russian people. I love in the dialogue. It's like speaking Russian. I'm like, tell me what they're saying.
Some delightful looking red thing there. And then, they marked the bags infrared. Okay. Yay. Infrared. They're walking around. They can hand it off. So different people have the bags walking around. We see this weird little girl with a fucking, clever ball, who changes appearance as Nick Fury starts following her, like a fucking, animal being led to the slaughter. Well, why would I not follow what is clearly a trap? Turns out the bags are empty. It's a fucking ploy. And who's there? What's his name?
Gravik.
Thank you. I am not
going to remember because I couldn't keep up with all the names.
I still don't remember. So Gravik's like, oh, hey, Fury, motherfucker, it's me. Boom. And he blows the fuck out of the festival.
And 2,000 people pass away.
2,000 people die. We don't know that at this point. We find that out later. So Maria's like, Nick, what the fuck? And then Nick shoots her. But it's not Nick. It turns out it's Gravik. Real Nick. That's mean Nick Fury. You can tell by the face. And then he turns back in the Gravik, and Nick's over Maria Hill as she dies, and this is the last shot of the show. Maria Hill fucking dead.
And that's how I met him.
And she was the what they said in the media was a major character dies in the first episode. Now,
how can she be major when there's only one episode?
No, but what I mean is, it was said a major character in the MCU. I wouldn't.
That's a real fucking stretch.
Exactly.
Agreed.
She's I liked her character in all the movies, and I thought she did a great job. And it sucks that her character is dead, but it isn't like he shot Thor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
Iron Man or something.
It mainly sucks that she's dead because she never fucking did anything. Like,
yeah, I know.
she had And if you want to say major Marvel character, meaning comics, sure. I mean, she led S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point. Like, she had a presence in comics. She never even remotely had that here. Now, if you had Coulson still around and like S.H.I.E.L.D., that they officially had at Kanan and whatever, and you had Coulson pop up and got killed, maybe people would actually give a shit. But people even freaked out on Twitter. I was like, why are you freaking out? She didn't do a goddamn thing.
Exactly. She didn't have a Coulson level death.
Yeah.
No.
If you also if you are not a comic book fan in any way, shape, form, or fashion, you don't know who she is.
No,
she's maybe showed up in a couple of other movies besides like this episode, and it's just like, who is she?
Yeah, she's basically like Nick Fury's chauffeur most of the time.
Right.
Yeah, and then she became Tony Stark's secretary or liaison or some fucking thing. Yeah. And then she went back to work for whatever pseudo S.H.I.E.L.D. ends up being called. Hey, Wookie, welcome, buddy. Good to see you out there.
It looks like she's actually CIA now because the distress signal from Ross went to her, and Ross is CIA. But Ross isn't CIA unless Black Panther: Wakanda Forever takes place after this.
Nobody knows. Oh, also, I need to ask you guys because I wasn't sure, and maybe they explained it, and I just didn't fucking get it. So, Jim Rode is working directly for the president. Is he NSA? Is he the National Security Advisor? Or what is it? Or SecDef? What is his fucking role? Or is he just like fucking War Machine working for the president?
I think he's just War Machine working for the president.
I think it was a way to get War Machine into the Disney.
It would make more sense, honestly, given the level of clearance that he's getting to do shit. If he was like the NSA, now National Security Advisor James Rhodes. Okay, makes sense.
They probably created some kind of like Avenger liaison sidekick.
He volunteered to go over. So I mean, I think that kind of that explains it.
Yeah, he's almost in like an ambassador type role too.
Yeah. Well, he's the envoy, but anybody can be a fucking envoy. That's just a word for anybody who is going on behest of. That's all that is. So. Whatever, but he's like right up the president's, ass in the White House when the call comes back that Fury has returned from.
He's gone effectively AWOL.
Yes, he's gone AWOL. Hey, Jenna, how are you? Good, welcome to the show.
Because he didn't want to babysit a spaceship.
Well, that's not. It's fuck off. It was just, I felt so in episode 1 we'll do a quick 2-second recap of this.
Hey,
thing.
JT.
Hey, JT, welcome, buddy. Good to see you out there. Nick Fury's old and black. In case anybody didn't know that. So you guys actually, for the comic book fans out there, this is a completely inaccurate version of Nick Fury. Aside
he's
from
black, first off.
Well, they did the race. That's
David Hasselhoff.
They took that from the Ultimates line. Thank you, Josh, for pulling that out of my brain. That's what they did in the Ultimates line. And the Ultimates, you don't really, it's like, okay, fine. And it worked, but it wasn't mainline Nick Fury at that point, whatever. But Nick Fury in the comics, in the proper comics, is Sergeant Fury from World War II. He is actually very old. He's as old as Steve Rogers, maybe older, but he has this serum that extends his life. He's aging just very slowly. So same character brought from World War II to present day because of this serum. And that's it. So it's this is not that character. This is a regular dude who also, I don't know, how old was he supposed to be in the Avengers? What age did you get from him?
Probably like
45
to 50s.
Yeah,
that's what I asked my son. He said about the same thing. But now it's not. How much later is this?
6 years.
Is it like 50 fucking years later? Because it looks like it's 50 fucking years later.
Right? Like he done gone through some stuff. Like granted, seeing yourself disintegrate in front of your eyes, like can have some negative effects on you.
I mean, even if it's 20 years later, he looks rough.
I think with the time jump, it's like 12 to 14 years later. With the 5-year blip time jump. But
so if he was 45 at the beginning of like the Avengers stuff, he'd be about like 60 now.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. But he also looks older without the eye patch.
Does anyone
the
way less
beard's
cool.
out of control, but he's got the paunch, which I think is actually just Sam Jackson at this point.
Yeah.
But he looks like a fucking bag of ass. He looks like a hot bag of fucking
He does.
ass.
But
And I don't know if
has anyone noticed? Has anyone noticed in phases 1, 2, and 3, his scar over his eye is smaller than it is now?
Well, yeah, because they had to actually make the Flurkin take his eye out in the movie. So now they got to retcon everything to how he got that scar and what the scar looks like. Because before it was like a 1 slash, right? It wasn't the 3 claw mark thing. If you go back and look, that's exactly
the last time he trusted someone, he lost his eye, and then it turns out it's
yes. Also, that's not how he lost his fucking eye, folks. That's how he lost it in this fucking retarded version of the Marvel storytelling.
Right.
He lost it because he attacked a cat.
He trusted the cat, folks. He trusted the cat.
To kind of recap the whole
face.
first episode is the Skrulls were on their own home planet. They got in a war. They lost. They wandered the universe. They came to Earth in the 90s with the Captain Marvel movie. Right.
Some. A very small group came to Earth in the 90s.
Right.
So,
like 10 people.
Fury got with them and said, hey, if you help us to defend the Earth, I'll find you a new home.
And Danvers will too.
And Danvers will too. Right. Because, she's been in so many movies since then. Who knows what she's doing. Anyway, so that was 30 years ago. Now the Skrulls are pissed because they feel like he hasn't held up his end of the bargain.
So now
happened. He's hiding in the Saber space station. And so a faction of them have broken off and decided that they want to take over the world. And they're going to do it. Go ahead, Joker.
No. She'll go.
Oh, okay. So, and they're going to take it over, kind of like how the changelings from Star Trek, where they can take on they can be anybody. They can't change into animals and tables and stuff, but they can turn into other people. And if they put them in those machines, like they showed in the first episode, they can actually like take their memories and personality and everything. So they're chameleons, and they can replace people too. And the thing about when you're in those nuclear power plants, they're secret power plants that no one's supposed to know about, but they're abandoned. So that's why they're called off the grid. Anyway,
it looks like you could see them from like above.
Well, yeah, the Americans obviously know where they're at because you can see them
like with like U2 planes and stuff. We'd have a pretty good idea. Not much.
Anyway,
I keep saying, like,
all the kids
why are
and
the Russian
adults in
government
there
not doing anything?
that still look like aliens.
What's up, Pops?
They just want to keep their normal form. But any of the warriors, people that are part of the cause that are going to be warriors and go outside the wire, they always keep their human form. So, so they pick different forms. Sometimes they pick certain people to emulate and replace them in their lives. So that's why one might say, well, why would you, make yourself look like somebody who's disadvantaged? in the world. Well, that's because they're replacing a person to fit in better. Because that was a question I had.
It was.
Yeah,
Martian
basically,
Manhunter.
yeah, it's Martian Manhunter. Yeah, so these are Martian
way
Manhunter
less
like.
fun.
Anyway, so that's kind of the whole lead up to why they're blowing
Americus is right
and stuff.
And Roman, let's take that back. They're blowing up Russia. They're kind of fun. Okay, come on.
Well, the point of them blowing up Russia.
This is funny though. No, so Josh, to your point though, this show, they must have fucking made this before everybody got all ticked off at the Russians. I myself don't have a problem with the Russians. I don't have a problem with the Ukrainians. I don't give a fuck. That's where I stand on the whole conflict. But the Russians are, like the big baddie in the world right now. But they made the Russians in this semi-sympathetic patsy almost. They're the guys who are there taking the fucking shot in the face so that the Skrulls can.
What the Skrulls are trying to do by doing that and then pinning it on an American, the guy that they had in captivity there, and they stole his face and everything, was to make it this American front like terrorist group. So American terrorists went to Russia and blew up in Russia, and so they're trying to start a third world war basically.
So I may be wrong, but that actually does sound like right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but they're doing all that to try to take over.
Sorry.
Anyway.
I'm sorry, FBI agent Gary. That was a joke. No, don't write that down.
So that's how we end up at the end of episode 1.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, that's episode 1, and the death of Maria Hill is the big shocking end to the episode.
My entire thing with okay, so they're mad at Danvers, they're mad at Fury. Okay, the Skrulls are quite technologically more advanced than Earth is.
A little bit.
So for to hold someone like Nick to that is kind of asking a lot when he doesn't have the resources or the tech to even achieve that. It's Carol. Well,
also, like my whole thought process was he made a deal. If you keep Earth safe, we'll find you a home.
We're not there yet. So let's go there now. In fact, let's dive into episode 2, and then we can get to all these finer points. So we start back
flashbacks. Yay!
Whatever fucking year it is.
95. We all love flashbacks.
Where Fury discovers the Skrulls exist.
Now, are these clips from the movie or
yes?
Okay, those from the movie. All right.
And Roman, you said you didn't watch.
I didn't watch the movie.
Okay, so just for background on Talos, so you have an idea of who he is. He was actually the Skrull general. Correct. He was the general of the Skrull army. Mm-hmm. To give you an idea of his presence within the Skrull community. So,
correct.
And a good-looking man as well. And he reveals himself to Fury so that he can speak to him. And this is who I am. This is the deal. You get that, a bunch of fucking Skrulls are fucking refugees.
Is Emilia Clarke should be one of these kids?
She is.
That is her right there, if I'm not mistaken.
The little one. Okay.
She's the one. They're about the same size, oddly enough. So
she doesn't grow.
Now, one thing about the Skrulls about them, they're physically stronger. They also live longer.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Talos is 130 or something like that.
Right.
Yes.
And he's in human years, it's like 30 or 40.
Yeah.
And then we jumped to 97.
I was 5 years old.
I was not.
Yeah, I was not either. Let's just say that.
So this is obviously this isn't in the film. This is new CGI, right?
Yes.
Right.
Tyler, okay, and I thought so because it looks not very good.
This
is the only part. This was CGI I didn't like. I thought Fury looked terrible. The CGI Fury looked terrible. So he's making his promise here. So Talos tells the Skrulls, you need to trust this man. It's not a word I use lightly, and you know that. And
that's graphic right there.
He meets Galdock.
Graphic.
G words, yay!
who was eventually going to become the leader of the other faction of the Skrulls, the bad guys, the terrorist Skrulls. But this is where Nick's making his promise that, hey, if you guys help me watch the Earth, which clearly fucking didn't get done, they didn't do their job because otherwise the fucking events of Avengers wouldn't have happened, but whatever.
Right? That was my whole thought process of if you actually held up your end of the bargain, like what? Thanos, the Avengers.
Pops, no.
I will say,
done it again.
I don't think Fury's help us protect things was necessarily a go fight. I think Fury's plan, and I'm thinking this will get revealed, I think his plan was to get these people hidden into positions of power so they could be part of the quote unquote World Council and could vote and kind of put things in Shield's favor.
Okay, well that would make more sense, but because when
they actually did their gosh dang job.
Well, I mean, on face value, I took it as they're actually going to use their bright shiny skull brains to help advance tech whatever to protect the Earth. But quite honestly, it doesn't fucking matter because anyway you cut it, they fucking failed. So Nick makes his promise: if you help us, we'll fucking help you. And this is Gaia, and she's giving the side eye to fucking Gridlock.
Hello, sir. Good to meet you. Nice.
And now this is them now. So you got fucking what's his name? Some old guy in a lovely hat. And I think this hat
in the background.
I mean, everybody in that scene is in the background, even the main character. Here's Gaia going, oh, we just blew up a bunch of people. Fucking Maria Hill. Maria Hill is dead. I'm sorry, I'm combining people and characters. And you got old Nick fucking crying like a fucking girl.
And oh my God. I was only here for a little bit.
By this, and also true. All of these things are true. Actually, everything Pops is saying in this is true. That's what fucking Secret Invasion gave you.
So this scene,
yes.
This scene confused me, right? So they're grabbing Nick Fury and they're gonna throw him in this van, and they grab this other dude and throw him in a van, right? And then a different van. Then go to the next scene.
So, and he's screaming here, I'm an American! I'm an American!
Yeah.
That's like the only
fucking
that's like,
yeah.
Is he an American? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't like his shirt. I fucking don't like his hat.
Sure thing, Karen. That's a Karen or a Kevin.
So here's Fury getting thrown in by generic.
AJ, not in this episode at least.
No. What, Emily Clark.
There's more episodes.
No.
The what? Wait, what?
I'm trying to keep track. I've got a chart here. It's
okay, thank you. and now, and the American gets thrown into his van while screaming, "I'm an American." We see that the big guy who threw Nick into the van is fucking Talos. Okay, swell. This fucking scene drove me out of my fucking mind.
So
I got the point that he was trying to make. He was like telling the story about how he lied to his mom, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, I know you're lying."
But it took so long to get there.
Well, here's my thing: is how did he get from the fucking van into the train?
Well, because obviously a black American is as it says.
He's a white girl now. Now he can get through.
No, but my thing is like, okay, but it was confusing. I thought he was going to get taken away to prison or tortured or something. Next thing you know, we're on this thing with a train and they're looking for him. And these guys are like, "Hey, you seen any black Americans?" And they're like, "No, not on a train from Moscow to Warsaw." So you knew where it was going. And then
I got a question.
Oh, hey.
But I was like, it didn't explain how he got in the damn train. I guess we're just supposed to be like, whatever.
No, you have to suspend your fucking disbelief here.
Humans completely? Like, would it still have like lady parts?
Wait, what?
Because like you can tell this guy's kind of getting into it.
I was wondering that too.
One thing led to another.
I really
would we like go there and there'd be like a scroll penis in there?
I didn't consider that. No, I think the better point.
Well, these are the real questions you have to ask, Roman.
Is
like if you're a male Skrill, like if you turn into a female human, do you have their same genitalia or do you have the
production powers here? And,
I never thought of that, and I don't want to. But thank you, Tyler, because now I will.
You know that this is the kind of stuff I think about.
You can't not hear it.
I'm gonna imagine that you have the appearance of the genitalia, but I think they're biologically different. And I'll explain why. Later.
What if they just all look like Ken dolls down there?
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Well, they have kids, so they must have something.
No. I meant when they change into a different form than.
Okay.
Pops! Oh, Pops! Gosh. Pops is just here to derail the entire
pictures, for example.
And we love Pops for that.
Yes,
we do. I love the smile on her face, though. A Black American.
Like really in Russia?
This is like the beginning of a porn film. Is what you?
She looks like what's her name in Gone Girl?
Oh, what's her fuck? Who was with Ben Affleck, his crazy fuck wife?
Yeah.
Very good movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I would be likely to
talking about Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike. Yeah.
That doesn't look like.
I don't know her fucking name either. So you're back.
I want to touch on that for just like 2 seconds.
What, the Black American?
That and also like it kind of goes with okay, so the Russians absolutely notice when a single Black American is in Russia, but they don't know when there's 500,000 to 1 million or so aliens in an abandoned nuclear power plant. Like, what are you talking about? You noticed this one guy and you didn't notice them,
and half of them are black,
right?
Yeah, yes, that is also true. There are a lot of there seems to be a disproportionate amount of Black Skrulls, actually.
Like I said, they kind of explain it because they're taking over real people's identities.
Yeah,
but
there's not that many Black people in Russia. I'm just saying.
Sticking those actual people in pods.
Yes.
Well, not all the people though. The people that they really need to use so they can suck their fucking brains out, don't suck their brains out. There had to be a better way to say that.
Other people, they're just
take their thoughts.
Right.
The other people, it's just a meat suit basically, and the other ones they are getting their so they know what these people know. They can act like them, have all the fucking interactions they need to have.
But because Skrulls can only access at least from the Captain Marvel film can only access recent memories. So by sticking them in the pods, they can absorb all their memories.
So now we got Talos and Nick on the fucking train, and we get this delightful story from Nick about how he used to take train rides with his mother, except they couldn't ride with the white folks, and their carts were very hot, and the bathrooms didn't work half the time. But they brought delicious fried chicken in a shoebox.
So
it was a lovely story. How fucking old is Nick Fury supposed to be?
I don't think this is a real story.
It's can't be because
he would have.
Otherwise,
Nick
Fury
had to
was
before 1964,
living in the 50s in the deep south.
Well, I maybe he's older because he does reference that he was involved with the Cold War. So,
I was involved.
Yeah, but that's just in the 80s, dude.
I mean,
like this had to have been like the simple fact that they were taking trains. Like trains is a main mode of transportation. Like what was
from
this?
Alabama to Detroit. Apparently,
so if he was
train that goes up that way, I don't think so.
If he was like 75
Josh,
or something.
Josh, he's watching you, Josh. Zax is watching. I just need to let you know that.
If he was a little kid, let's say he was 6 or 7, right? It's plausible if he's in his 70s here. Now, if he's taking the serum, he could be much older.
But as far as we know, he's not taking the serum. Certainly based on his aging from Avengers to present.
All I'm saying is that it is reasonable that he could have been a little kid, not a teen, but under 10, and still have gone through this and remembered it. Or as Josh saying, he's just making up the story.
Yeah. And the reason I say that is we have, even in the MCU, a history of him lying constantly.
That's true. To
invoke, yeah. So I don't think there's any truth to the story. I don't think there's any truth to the story about his dad in Winter Soldier. I think it's Nick Fury in a lot of ways is like the Joker. He's just going to say whatever. So your mind is questioning. Like you're never sure if you're on level footing when you're talking to Nick Fury. They've consistently written him this way. So
it's a good point. The problem that I have though, Josh, is in this story, I think is actually meant to be true because they want to get that reaction from the audience. They remember racism. That's a big undertone, weirdly, in this series that shouldn't have it at all. But it's a whatever.
Especially in Russia.
Well, the other way that, because of the nature of the scrolls, it's something that they could delve into by using the scrolls, kind of like in a Star Trek-esque type way, where they're aliens. So you talk about these issues using the aliens to kind of push the narrative along. But I mean, it kind of, if that's how they want to roll with it, I guess, it's a little cumbersome, but
it is cumbersome as fuck. Here, I want to highlight Pop's statement here for a second. I love all the racist innuendos from a character that was race swapped from the original. True. I'd pay big money for Kurt Russell to show up as the real Nick Fury and take out this skull phony. You know what? I would as well. I would actually go see that movie. I would pay to go to the theater to see a movie, and I don't go to the fucking theater for anything anymore.
Well, also, I guess I was also confused for a little while. Like, I thought at one point in time, and this is how out of touch I am with the MCU, I thought at one point in time Nick Fury was confirmed as a Skrull. Like, wasn't there like some sort of scene where it's like,
there was like a post-credit scene
this whole time
in one of the movies.
It was Talos. It was Talos. So Talos has been impersonating Fury for about a decade.
However long?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah,
okay, well, we'll have to wait till the end of the episode then.
So was it Talos the whole time for like
Avengers? Was Talos the Avengers?
Well, we'll have
to. Was it Talos' idea for the Avengers? Is Talos the one that's been doing everything for Shield? Is Talos the reason that Shield fell? I have questions.
No, why would he have that story about the elevator if it was?
It looks like Talos has been Fury ever since roughly, probably the end of Winter Soldier, because that's when Fury quote unquote died, but didn't actually die.
Oh, okay.
Well, that could make sense.
Gotcha.
I hate it, but it could make sense.
If that's the twist for this show, then this actually might not be bad.
I don't think. Maybe I don't think that's the twist for the show, but I think that's going to play into. Yeah.
Well, who knows? God.
What happened?
Well, also, like the ending scene, like that makes me wonder: is he actually a Skrull? Like, is he who he thinks he is?
I think you're gonna have is Nick Fury a Skrull or not until episode 6. So just get ready. I think they're gonna throw things as red herrings and teases. And
how many episodes is this thing?
6.
It's just 6.
6. Okay.
Which thank God it's less episodes than Andor.
True. And I think the thing that we need the key takeaway from this scene right here is strictly that the situation we're in now with the millions of Skrulls that are here on Earth.
Well, which we find. Josh, hold on for a second. So we actually find that out in this scene, though.
Yeah.
Talos relays to Nick that there are over 1 million Skrulls on Earth. Fury didn't know that.
No,
he thought it was just some.
Yeah, when as far as Fury's concerned, because all this happened post blip. So as far as Fury's concerned, there's only like 2 or 3 dozen max Skrulls on Earth. And Talos has gotten every single Skrull that he could get, aside from the Skrulls that are with some other general now that's out in space. So everyone is here on Earth, and there's no one tracking them. And that's how they lost control. That's how Talos lost control. And that's why he kind of pulled it like, hey, dude, we need your help. Because he let the shit hit the fan so bad that now Fury's like, what the fuck?
This was a genuine what the fuck moment from Nick Fury. And they have a big falling out of this because you're like, you lied to me, dude. And then he
throws the thing back that, you said you'd find us a home. And I'm thinking the whole time,
Nick.
like the Avengers, like what happened to like Thanos invading? What happened to all of these people? Like, Spider-Man and all this bad stuff happening around the world. Like, you did not help Nick make the world safer. It was still just as bad and dangerous as it was back in World War II. You didn't hold up your end of the deal. So he didn't have to hold up his end.
I would argue that it's because Roman mentioned the technology thing earlier. I would argue that the Skrulls probably helped Nick Fury and Shield get all the technology they had, because that's the only way you can describe why they had space level technology or advanced technology that went well beyond even our militaries, going back like earlier.
Hydra had that too, though.
Yeah, but Hydra was in Shield. That's why Hydra had it. So Hydra,
that's still like they didn't protect, like they were supposed to be spies to keep us safe. They did not detect that there were other spies within their within Shield. Like they should have been the first warning system. Say, hey, these people are not who they say they are. I'm not who I say I am, so I can recognize the game.
So Nick and Talos have a big falling out over this though, and because Talos is like, well, why can't we fucking stay here? We, everywhere else we've been met with violence and horror and blah, blah, blah. Nick's like, here, there's not room for another fucking species on Earth. The humans can't even get along with each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? And the same applies to this fucking train card. Get the fuck out, motherfucker.
I hated that line. I hate it. It sounded like he was talking to his wife. Oh. You know what? This looks like y'all stop anyways. Get out of the car, bitch. That's what you get for cheating on me.
then he turns back into no genitalia female and leaves. And now we're in London. But I fucking hated that train scene. I fucking hated it.
I understand why he told the story, but he could have made the point without telling his entire life's backstory. He could have been like, yeah, my mom and I were on a train. It was rough. This was a game that my mom and I used to play. Are you lying to me, sucker? Instead of going like, we had some fried chicken and some cornbread, and we had some of that nice southern food, and then we got to Detroit, and it was all hell from there. Sorry, my redneck accent came out for a second.
A little bit there.
And now
I'm from Alabama. That's why, yeah.
Did you ever take train rides to Detroit while eating fried chicken?
I didn't even think that there was a train that went from Alabama. It had to have been from Birmingham or Mobile or Huntsville, because I don't know of any train that goes all the way from Alabama to Detroit. Like, if there was.
Yeah.
Well,
it does?
They have, I'm pretty sure, connect to each other.
A direct train?
No, he didn't say it was a direct train anyway. So
okay.
St. Louis and Chicago. Or
right.
Okay, because there's connecting trains.
Far more about the rail system of America in this story than
he didn't get into the layovers and everything in between and everything.
No, so we're in London, and Maria Hill's body is being flown out, and her mom is kind of pissed. She's like, "What's
it's your fault, Nick?"
Yeah, she blames Nick.
Everyone blaming him.
This is one of several times Nick gets blamed for everything. So it's your fault. My daughter's in a box.
Yeah.
I was like, no, she's the one who called Nick down there.
But here's why. Maria Hill's been doing this a long time. Her mother obviously knew what she was doing, right? So she should have already been prepared for it.
Yeah.
She should have had
one day her daughter shows up in a box. That's what you prepare for.
Anyone in the military, any spy, anybody who's in the business in one way or another, this is a possible outcome. It's not necessarily a probable outcome, but it's definitely a possible outcome.
Yeah, but they're not going to be happy for it. I mean, they're never
You're not going to be happy, but
they never go, gee whiz, sure, well, that happened. Oh, well.
It's an
I guess Nick is a face to blame, and, that's what she's doing. Well, I can call it that.
The scene felt like it was written by somebody that didn't know anything about any kind of, actual real life.
Shocking.
Yeah. In my opinion, this is actually one of the worst. Well, the opening scene in the first episode and then this scene, in my opinion, are two of the worst written scenes in either episode.
So it gets to a point, and then where then it turns into something that's a little bit better. But it's that initial anger at him. I was like,
I was surprised she didn't slap him, Shieldwall. I thought she was going to fucking slap him. I really did. I was just waiting for it, and it never happened. I was a little disappointed, frankly.
I wonder why that didn't happen.
It's because maybe
because he's a black man.
White lady hitting a black guy.
Yeah. Yep. It's because he's a black man. You can't do that.
They're in London. I guess it's in Russia. Certainly not, but maybe in London. So she blames him for her daughter's death, and he hangs his head. And you're thinking maybe this is where Nick's going to find his fucking
Jacob.
What did Jacob say?
It's my fault again. I dare you.
I double dare you.
She slaps him, motherfucker.
That is a good burger.
Time to throw hands, ma'am.
Probably should have just given her a foot rub.
Oh
that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yes, master.
Have you ever given someone a foot rub?
Yes.
I actually have to.
It's a very intimate thing. So, a developing story. This is the American terrorist. This is the UK Prime Minister.
B.
And they're all wearing the same clothes that you see them in the next scene as well, which is convenient, I suppose. This is the NATO Secretary General.
The man with the little balls.
You're tiny, and I hate his fucking suit, which is.
And I like the Tucker Carlson knockoff guy who says something about, and then it turns out that's the truth. That was kind of funny.
Shooter McGavin. It's Shooter McGavin.
Yes, McGavin is oddly some Fox News envoy. So the dwarf Gaia and Gallows are going to a meeting with. We don't know who the fuck they're meeting with.
Okay, well, hold on.
Yeah,
that entire car ride, just the way he's sitting back, leaning.
Oh my god!
It is so. I'm on such. It is really like I'm on such another level than all of you.
So funny, Mando.
I'm so amazing.
See, I didn't take it though. I took it as I'm so fed up and I'm so over all of this shit.
No.
I actually thought the dude was going to go to sleep. He's just like,
because the dialogue is so
like,
dumb.
I've got this. I'm on top of the world. You are a peasant. Drive me around, peasant.
Dwarf, drive. And she's talking.
Right.
I thought what we did was really meaningful. And God damn it. And then
you can tell in her eyes, like, is it okay that we killed 2,000 innocent people? And she's just like, I didn't sign up for this. It's like, yes, you did, B.
I do think there's more going on with Gravik than even his like right hand people know though. And I'll say this because in episode 1, his like right hand guy comes to him and tells him, hey, Fury's here in Russia. He's giving the spiel. It looks like he's not doing well. And then Gravik does the whole like, oh, are you telling me this for me? Or are you telling me this for the cause? So you've got this exchange, but then later in the episode, Gravik is the one that turns into every single person that Fury saw while on a walk. He turned into the little girl with the ball. He turned into the old man from the bar, and he turned into the woman that was making out on the. So he was already aware. So I think there's more going on with the Gravik. I think there's more with Gravik in general with Fury.
Well, yeah, and we find out what Gravik is up to, which Gaia stumbles on.
Yeah,
grabbing her boob.
He looks like he's doing a shortstop, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dracarys.
Oh gosh, that was an accident. Oh man,
I promise
me. The gropage was by accident. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean.
Right, yeah.
And then like the next scene, he's just like, you can shoot him in the head if you want.
Yeah,
that's a good screenshot.
Oh, gee, we have a council, and it's all the people we just saw.
Except for Indian Woman. I think Indian Woman is the only one we didn't see, or at least pretty much the Indian Woman.
Indian Woman, the Asian man, I think. Which, to go back to episode 1, I thought they did a really decent, subtle job of being like, hey, anyone around you can be a Skrull with that example I just gave. Because most people I talked to missed that connection. Here, it was so blatantly obvious that it annoyed the hell out of me.
Everyone on the news is a fucking Skrull.
Oh my god! Like they should have just let this ride and like maybe an episode reveal 1. Like just let it.
But they only have 6 episodes, so they.
Well, also like part of me was also thinking, okay, so these are like some of the major heads of state. Yes. Why is there still warfare going on? What happened with all of the previous shows where there's mass mayhem and confusion and everything? Like the world's falling down, but then these guys are like, we're in charge of the world, but we're not in charge of you.
But because there's a million of them and about 3 trillion humans.
But they're the heads of government.
Yeah, but they're only recently the heads of government. Like that, I think you keep thinking, why haven't they done anything for years? Keep in mind, until about like 3 years ago, there was only like 2 or 3 dozen.
Oh, yeah. I keep thinking they've been here for a little while.
It took them time to take over, and now they're having like their meeting about what they're going to do.
Right.
And they talk about it, and he wants them. He said, okay, for years we've kind of been like this democratic council, but nothing can get done that way. Democracy doesn't work when you're trying to take over the world. So you have to, it under one leader is what they need. So they decided to have a vote to make Gravik the general, which would mean he would be in ultimate control of all of the scrolls. So they go ahead and do the vote after they have some discussion about it.
Some discussion where he like throat punches somebody.
Yeah, he throat punches the leader of NATO.
Yeah, take that,
the NATO dude. Well, and he also says, you know, what's the fucking difference if we kill them off or not? The humans are going to kill each other off. We know this. It's not a big fucking deal. It's just a matter of time, and then we'll fucking own the place. But if we move this along a little bit faster, that'd be nice too. So they all have a little, you know, they're the fucking whatever his name is, Gidunk has the meeting. He tells him he wants to be the leader. They have a fucking vote. Everybody's kind of laughing about it, and then British Prime Minister lady, who's still wearing the same clothes she was in the CNN thing, says, you know, I think he actually has a point. And everybody's like, bitch, you were in on this. And then they have a vote, and he's like, yeah, fuck off. And he gets throat punched, and then they all bow and fucking, you know,
I love Indian lady here. I'm like, you go, girl. You've got bigger balls than all those motherfuckers.
Like, I am not going to fucking do this shit. And
where's my Slurpee?
And fucking Gridlock's like, don't worry, we're not going to fucking hurt you. You can go on your way.
And she's like, I don't believe you.
It's like, okay. And then the first thing she does is like, she calls Talos. The first thing she does is like, Talos, they've got some fucked up shit going on with fucking, you know, Grime or Wormtongue. And he's like, oh, fuck. So now
why is the cooking mark calling me? What's going on?
Now fucking back to nuclear plant land. He shows up and they're like, oh, yay, G-Spot's back. Good job.
There you go.
And he's like, I couldn't have done it without all of you.
Jesus.
Which he's probably going to annihilate all of them later.
Who's his sidekick? I really don't know his name.
I don't even know if they
ever
said
get
his
a
name.
name. I don't think they've said his name. He's just creepily stood there in the corners, you know, like, I'm going to kill you all.
Henchman, you know, henchman number one is following
Gridlock
him.
2.
And fucking Dwarf is like lingering behind, like they're in a Muslim country and she's in trouble. So she's like 20 paces behind the males, which is a little bit weird. She's supposed to be like his number two. At least that's what I got. And she is not being treated that way. Not even.
I don't think she's number two. I think
she's being treated like number two, but I'm bump. Sorry.
Come
on. That was a little bit funny. No one got my number two joke. I was saving that.
I think she's. I was gonna say. I think she's leverage.
Because she's Talos' daughter.
She's leverage.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
All right, so she's following number two. We don't know what his fucking name is. Who does number two work for? And she finds scientist lady.
The Daltons. Rose Dalton.
Dalton, yes. And
who is she?
She's new in this episode. But
okay, because I was thinking she was like her dead mom, and I was like, wait, what?
No, she's just a new scientist. But I would pose the question: is she a former scientist for AIM?
Mm-hmm.
So is she human or is she?
She's human.
She's
human.
A Skrull.
Good one, Dempsey. I got it.
Dempsey, that was good.
Good.
What?
He'll be here
that actually that would like double down on my joke. So they were supposed to become some kind of special DNA, I guess, wherever the fuck they were, and it wasn't there. That's what number two tells her. So you're figuring out they're obviously doing something wonky here.
How far along in the episode are we right now, Roman?
We are, I think, about in the middle. Let me.
Has there been like action scene at all?
What's that?
Has there been like any action scene in this entire thing?
No. Not yet. No, there's been really no action.
Just sitting down and talking, and then they cut to something else, and just other people sitting down and talking.
Sit down and talk. Sit down and talk. Sit down and talk.
Oh God!
Very Andor-like.
Go superhero punch somebody or something. Come on.
This is one of my. So the director even said that they approached this as a 5 to 6 hour movie, which fine, whatever. And if you look at story structure at that point, you're literally still in the rising action. Like you're not even like you've got your and it's like, okay, if you want to do that, fine, but you can't present this as a TV show if you do that. Because then people will be like, nothing happened. Yeah, people will be like, nothing happened to this, and they're not going to look at it as, okay, we're building to the climax. They're not going to view it as a single story. They're going to view it as this episode, nothing happened. This episode, nothing happened, and
especially if you're not binging it, if it's the weekly release,
100%,
which is what we're doing.
Yeah, and that's why I think these shows are like a hybrid.
Oh, good night, Smile a while.
Yeah, well, they fucked up.
They're not. They don't consider them in their mind TV shows. They consider them streaming shows, which are meant at the end after they've done their weekly release. What the ideal is that you binge them all, right? Because it's only 6 episodes, so you just watch them all back to back in one day.
See, but if you're like us, if you're some fucking weirdo like us, a normie doing, I know why we're doing it. A normie doing this, you fucking probably lost them after this episode.
Because they're like, nothing's happening. No, there's no.
They're like, why?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then who's going to wait a week to see what happens?
Oh boy, what's not going to happen next week?
I know.
Exactly. Do you think you guys think they might be sitting down and talking in the next episode? I can't.
Probably. I used to love reading spy novels. And this is trying to be a really crappy spy novel. It's just. Like, even in spy novels, there's a little bit more action than this. Like, there's still build up, but like, bro, this is like a half-ass attempt at making a spy novel without the actual spies doing the spy things.
I wouldn't even mind if like some superhero just broke in that had nothing to do with the story, and then they just like left. And then
every time I watch one of these E+ Marvel shows, I just would be like, you know how cool it'd be if Thor just showed up right now.
Yeah.
Not even do anything, just kind of show up.
Somebody with a hammer and walks away or something.
Yeah, and be like, "What's up?" And then like take off.
Shieldwall had those thoughts before Love and Thunder, though.
Or Lady Thor shows up. I'm even fine with that.
Or what would be more appropriate for this show if Carol shows up?
And she's riding those goats from Thor, the really loud goats. Dude,
also
an episode right here.
I'm just keep in mind too, the Marvels was supposed to come out before this.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Well, and also,
both. Yeah.
Did you see the spoiler for that already, Josh?
That Maria Hill's in the Marvels.
McFadden, welcome. So the spoiler, and it's on the interwebs now. So me spoiling a spoiler, I guess fuck off. It's a show you're not going to watch anyway. So if you're going to watch the Marvels, then cover your little ears so they don't burn.
Young Avengers.
No, the fucking dead lady comes back.
Maria
Hill is in Marvel.
Yeah. Oh God, really? Just like an hour ago.
Exactly.
You were dead for a while, so you missed her.
Shouldn't you be dead? I get that a lot.
Wait, doesn't the Marvels happen before this?
That's what I'm thinking, because originally it did,
so.
and I just don't think they changed it. Because it wasn't until recently that they pushed the Marvels back, and they didn't come back and reshoot major scenes for this.
So the Marvels was supposed to come out.
Though.
You're supposed to watch the Marvels and then watch this show, and it would give you the context.
Yeah, we'll see if the Marvels changes things, but it looks like you're kind of getting fucked over.
I will admit right now, before we I'm not watching the Marvels, so you're not going to get the weekly review, and I apologize to the 4 people that are going to be watching the Marvels. I can't bring myself to do that.
Roman, I will end up watching it, and if you want, I will come give you a play-by-play, and you can give your just best crazy-ass reactions to it.
Okay, that would actually be that would be good. That would be good. Josh watches and Roman reacts. That's the show. That's the fucking show. Because I can't do it. I can't do it. This one I can bear, and just by that fucking much. I am also going to watch Ahsoka. I'm going to admit that. I am going to watch that. I'm not going to watch the Antacid, the other show. Begins with an A.
Acolyte.
That's the one. Thank you. I
don't think that's a real show, and I don't think it's coming out.
Oh, it's coming out.
Well, either way, I'm not watching it, but I am going to watch Ahsoka. Because I have been watching the Star Wars shows. What?
I stopped watching more.
Oh no, Grandpa!
It would be more interesting than people sitting around talking. I will say that.
Lisbeth, this is the one.
This is the one. Episode 3. Josh kills Roman. So, so the dwarf is watching.
That's a good point, Boosh.
Yeah.
Episode. What's her? would be. What? I'm sorry. Bring that back up.
Bush's comment.
Yeah,
right.
I was gonna say to Bush's comment. This is what happens, and I know people like to shit on him. This is what happens when you have someone that can actually craft a story with multiple characters, Joss Whedon, and accomplish this within like 5 to 10 minutes, and then move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't get that with this, not by a long shot.
And even if you did know the background on these stories, I don't think
you wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you got the dwarf watching the scientist. She gets her name, which I don't remember again. Dalton, thank you. And you see that there's this big clever machine set up, and so something is going to happen. And the dwarf is like, "I need to investigate who this lady is."
What was that again?
I need to investigate who this lady is.
Okay, good.
They're trying to get charms.
This was actually one of my. I enjoyed this scene.
Okay, Don was good in this. I mean, again,
I thought this was a great scene.
He's giving shit kind of with, but.
It's almost like a UN type council is like, doesn't the United States, blah, 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 bear some responsibility when they're citizens? And he's like,
allegedly,
Nick Fury and Maria Hill are in Russia. And he's like, allegedly. And he's like, as private citizens, they can do whatever they want. And he basically hands it back to me. And she's like, why isn't the president here? And he's like, the president has a lot of fucking important shit to do. I'm here as a fucking courtesy. And if you keep this bullshit up, I'm not even going to be that. And I forget what he said. Was it the Slovakia?
Yeah.
If Slovakia keeps giving me that look, I'm going to put on the suit and carpet bomb him.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was very good. It was fun. It was good. It was nice to see him, fucking do anything. So he basically tells them to fuck off, leaves the meeting. There's fucking roll eyes, motherfuckers. He gets a phone call from Nick Fury. He thinks Fury is there because he's, basically asking him a bunch of questions about what happened, And he sets up a meeting at whatever fucking bar they're in. And I like the beginning. I like the setup of this scene. I thought it was going good.
This could be a really good scene.
This scene was great until the writers remembered again that Samuel L. Jackson is black. And then we have another black guy here.
Right.
Yeah.
My racism.
Oh my God. Because it was like, this is gonna be good. You're having a back and forth between these two characters about some, fucked up shit that happened. And while Nick Fury was there, did he cause it? No, but with what War Machine could have said is, if you'd actually let us know you were fucking there and why you were there, maybe some intervention could have happened so that this shit was at least minimized instead of blowing fucking 2,000 Russian citizens up. But then it takes that fucking turn.
Help a brother out.
Because Rhodey's like, basically he's like, I can't help you. And Nick was like, you can't or you won't. And Rhodey's like, I should have rephrased that. I will not help you. And that's where it takes that turn into the help a brother out, basically, is the way it goes.
What we grew up with.
He has to tell the whole, men that look like us don't get to these, these places of power because our daddy was somebody's buddy. That kind
Alexander Pierce.
Oh my God, yes. And then Rhodey, to his credit, is like, we didn't, get to these parts because, instead of some mediocre man, but we have a responsibility, is what it all kind of went down to. I don't know if Rhodey is Rhodey either, though. I question whether Rhodey is Rhodey.
I do to a degree. I will say this is still pretty much on track for who Rhodey is, at least in the MCU.
That's true. He's more straight. Yeah, in the MCU, he's definitely more straight line than certainly Tony was.
I also think this is a red herring. I think they're going to try to make you think he's a Skrull, and I don't think he's the Skrull.
Oh, okay.
I think Mr. President is the Skrull.
Probably.
Oh.
And I think Mr. President is a Skrull who purposely wanted Rhodey with him to have a insight into the quote unquote Avengers that are left, but can also use Rhodey as his little puppet to do political things, but also hero things. So,
well, also in this scene, we do get why the Avengers aren't there, why Nick hasn't called whatever the fuck the Avengers are now. It's because he doesn't want a Skrull getting a hold of one of them, and then
which is the entire premise of Secret Invasion.
Yes. So again, the comic book, that was what you got instead of a lot of this talking about fried chicken on trains, which is a lovely story, told by an old man remembering his mother. So this guy was in the car
down and talking.
Lots of talking, sitting down and talking. At least they have drinks this time. The car's here, and he's getting escorted out because
Rhodey's coming up. Here we go.
Rhodey's bringing him in. What's that?
We got some action coming up.
That's right.
We do. It's very brief. And here it is.
There we
action.
Go. And we're done.
It breaks an arm.
Nick literally disarms this guy in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Letting you know Nick is still capable of some stuff. And Rhodey's like telling him, you're out, dude. And Nick gives him I'm Nick Fury, motherfucker. When I'm out, I'm still in.
Yeah. Even when I'm out, I'm in.
And I love the delivery of that line. I thought the delivery of that line.
Right.
The problem was at the immediate follow-up scene where Nick wanders off.
And they just right. He's like,
why? Why do you need to diminish this man so much?
Like they have just broken down his character into nothing.
I do feel like part of the problem here. Oh, was someone else going?
Yeah, I was just gonna say one thing. So Nick Fury walks out, and the government just lets him.
That was kind of my thing as well.
Sorry, Josh.
I agree with you. I do think part of the problem with this series is honestly the direction, because I think there's points where the script is hit or miss, and it's like vividly hit or miss. It's either like on point or it's completely not. But I feel like even when it's on point, the direction is not on point. And if they had played this scene like he's like, fuck, I got to figure this out because I thought I had my government behind my back to just let me do my thing, which is what he's always done and always been able to do, to say, back off, I've got this, and they would back off. So I think he was expecting that, and it didn't happen. And I think what they were trying to portray and failed to do was him thinking like, now I've got another element that I have to deal with and fight against, and I've got enough on my plate. Instead, they made it look like
convey this.
A breakdown. Like, was me?
I'm wheezing now. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, this is how I felt last week, so I could relate. But it was, a very different set of circumstances, and I'm not Nick fucking Fury. So now we get.
I love this scene. This
whole
stuff. All this.
When Iron Man are dead, Cap is Joe Biden, and Fury is Nick. Yeah, you're right.
Fair, Boosh. Fair.
You're dead on. You're dead fucking on.
Fair point, sir.
So now they're at what looks to be a lovely deli in Russia.
And this, I feel so sorry for Olivia here because she is wasted. She is. This was my favorite. This was my favorite scene in this episode, though. Much like
same.
Agreed. By far.
She is so much fun to watch.
Oh, I love her scenes here.
She's very believable too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you very easily can believe she is an MI6 high operative who knows what the hell she's doing, and she will kill you and put a smile on her face while she's killing you. Like, yes, darling. Oh, this hurts. Okay, fine. That's fine.
Bush, what is?
She walks into the interrogation of those. Look, is that a steak in the bag? Is it like a giant steak? What is that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably,
so she walks.
It's in Russia. Probably a yak.
I've never eaten yak.
I haven't either.
Don't talk back.
So this is the.
I was about to do that.
God damn it!
Well played, Tyler. Well played.
This is the American. I'm an American that they got thrown into the van that they're blaming this attack on. So they've done everything they can. Clearly not, because there's nothing attached to his fucking testicles. They're not doing everything they can.
There's no electricity. There's no actual knives.
Try it, guys.
There's no car battery. There's no nipple clamps.
Yep. There's no waterboarding equipment. Any of that stuff.
I mean,
amateur.
I kind of got the feeling that they were just getting started.
Yeah.
And then She walks
in. Then
just
Clever Lady
go-
walks in.
I mean,
He
boys,
does
just
have
go-
the line, "We've tried everything and he won't talk. What makes you think
Right.
you're going to do any better?" Which, if they wouldn't have added the line in there, maybe.
No, you're right. It probably would have been okay. He's not even beaten up that bad.
He's not even bleeding.
right.
And he has all his fucking teeth. He's still
and-
got both his
And here's
fucking
the
ears.
thing: what happened next is why it makes their statement incredulous. If she would have just did something else than what she does, but I was like, come on, man, that's basic 101. They would have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know?
And,
Right?
and-
He still has all of his fingers and toes and nose and ears. Like, those should have gone first.
And they could have gone, and they could have gone to a local. They could have gone to a local sex house and had Madame Dom do far more damage to this guy.
No, the fucking Russians have done? Yes. I don't even know what this guy has done. Is he just fucking eating while he's there? Fucking fat Russian in the background? I don't like him.
Is he fat? Oh.
He looks plump. He looks
Well,
puffy.
in Russian standards, yes, they're actually quite all overweight for Russian standards.
I was gonna say, as far as torturing, you're also in like a butcher shop. So if you're a real Russian and you really want to torture somebody, be like, all right,
Chop
let's
some
start
hands
this.
off.
No,
Wow,
two
Boosh,
meat-
that's Boosh.
two meat
are
hooks
you-
into your flesh, hang you up real quick, and start asking you some questions. Like, come on.
Boosh, are you speaking from practical experience here?
True. So she hands him the phone. He obviously is talking to his boss, who says, yes, she's fucking there. Get the fuck out. Whoever his boss is, we don't know. We don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. So him and the boys fucking leave the room. And she
I still don't
locks
understand
the
how the
door.
Russian government doesn't understand what's going on. Continue.
Nobody knows. In Mother Russia, fat is you. Nice.
Now notice what she's doing with the store here. It's got a hook on it, and she's putting this rod on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the door cannot be pulled open.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know what you're saying.
We have the gentleman sitting in the chair. She's like, do you want to do this the easy way or the hard way? And he's basically like, fuck off. I'm not going to talk to you.
She's got scissors, like, okay, the hard way it is.
The fucking performance here was great. I loved every minute of her performance. It was just she was genuinely enjoying fucking torturing this guy. It was spectacular.
Oh, one thing
So
to add, before
figure.
she left, she asked them where the escape hatch was to the room.
Yes. She thinks, because you're fucking his boss is going to be here in a minute.
Yeah, she knew that. She's like, I'm sure they're going to be showing up in like 5 minutes, so that gives me just enough time to get the information that I need from you.
Snip, off goes the finger. That's really good. That looks good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she just waited
First
for it
thing
to
she
turn.
knows.
She's like, well, now that's confirmed. Let's get to work.
Did that look like a scroll deck to anybody else?
It does look like a scroll peen. I was about to say, hey, we got the answer. What's their anatomy look like? She was more like, oh look, you're
my.
uncut. Wonderful.
It's not a complete stream until you get a scroll dick on this show.
Olivia
Right,
Colman
or
calling us scroll deck.
scissoring.
That's the reason for this. Whole
God,
shit.
Vex!
Hi,
Also-
Vex.
Do we think there's
As soon as we said scroll dick, Vex showed up.
do we think there's any
Coincidence?
foreshadowing? Do we think there's any foreshadowing in the fact that she's wearing green and purple?
Oh,
Ooh. But the Joker isn't in this world.
I know,
No,
right?
but the scrolls are green with purple.
yeah.
True. They stole my look.
So now we're back to the dwarf looking at a computer, and she's looking up who the scientist lady is. and
But that was here we go. So we got
this is the important part. What the
Groot.
fuck is she doing?
so above the beast.
That's a Groot. Yes.
Is Groot. We got a frost beast, which there was one on Earth at the end of Thor Dark World. So so that is accessible. There was the wrist that was cut off in Infinity War of Cole Obsidian, if he's of the Black Order, and then the one underneath that, Extremis.
Yeah, is on the very, very bottom. Which, okay. I That's a little bit weird for this lineup, I think, though. I guess it's a little member berry for,
No.
It
makes perfect sense because they're making super scrolls.
Correct.
And in the comics, the super scrolls, the powers, the way they you have scroll scientists experiment on themselves to gain powers, but the powers that they use are the powers of the Fantastic Four. You don't have the Fantastic Four yet, so you're getting essentially the 4 powers for the most part. Opposite Invisible Woman, you're getting it from these 4. So you've got Groot, so you can grow and expand like Mr. Fantastic. The Frost Beast, you've got Ice. I mean, Cole Obsidian's going to be more like the Thing, and then you've got Fire from Extremis, which would be like Johnny Blaze. So they're the way they went about this, I give them credit for because they made it work within their universe.
And then fucking G-Love and Special Sauce walks in. She's like, "What are you doing, lady?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just checking out our new recruit. He looks fine." Then he goes on to lecture her about, how he could fucking, seize control of all these people from a weak ass general. And he's like, yeah, it's just because he didn't fucking have it. He was a fucking, basically, he was useless. He was a weak man or a weak Skrull, whatever. Talking about her dad. Okay, that's nice. Your dad was a fucking piece of garbage. He was a beta Skrull. And now he's like, I'm still not going to talk. He's like, oh, she's going to inject him with something that makes his fucking blood go up to like 160 degrees centigrade or something. It's some fucking crazy business.
That's Extremis.
Is that Extremis?
Yeah. It pretty much. I don't think she calls it Extremis, but it's pretty much the same thing.
Now it only works on scrolls, right? Or if you inject a human with it, will it do anything?
She made a comment that it gets everyone to talk. The reason I mentioned the comment earlier about the anatomy, I think they have the presence of human anatomy, but their actual anatomy remains different. Is he even makes the comment, "Yeah, go ahead and stick this in my arm," and then she doesn't. She sticks it in his butt, and then he panics. So I think there's an anatomy thing here, and I think there's more that she knows. And
Pops is right, and Pops covered this in his. Now, because what comes after this, Gravik and his guy, they come into
henchman number 1
to rescue him. But if this truly is Extremis, or that's what they want us to think it is, they should have opened that door up, or not been able to open that door up, do whatever. But when they got in, there should just be body parts all over the place.
That would have been more interesting.
Well, because he would have.
Because he does actually give her info. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if anyone watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They find out how to curb Extremis so it doesn't cause people to blow up. And if anyone's like, oh, it's not canon, Marvel has updated their website to include in Nick Fury's bio that he helped Phil Coulson during episodes of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think they're finally being like, all right, we are going to include this, which I'm down with. I'm fine with it.
Which means the horrible Inhumans are canon now too.
Oh God, let's hope not. At least not the show itself. But
the guy who played Black Bolt was in the multiverse of meh.
Fair. Don't be surprised if Chloe Bennett pops up on the show by the end.
I've heard she's going to show up somewhere.
What's a Chloe Bennett?
She's Quake. She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep. Which I didn't watch. Okay, it's fine. So he tells her that there's a big fucking gene, and does he talk about the gene splicing? He gives away some secrets.
He says he has a lab, and that's all we hear. And
so I mean, she makes some assumptions from this,
and then he says he has a secret lab, and he gives up the name Dalton, the adult.
Yes, and from that she can probably surmise what's going down with her intel. So she's like, "Thank you for your help." She goes off to make a phone call. That's peculiar because whatever. She says she's going to go around back to see if anything's happening. The driver the retard scrawl who wanders up to the fucking
3.
gate. You're doing great, boss. And meanwhile, number 2 and the
G-Man
walk in and start fucking shooting up the deli. She kicks over the chair when she hears the gunfire, makes her exit through the trap door. Hello, goodbye. They rescue him, and the fucking they got that guy.
See, there should have been body parts all over that.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah.
So he asks, he's like, so did you fucking say anything, dude? He's like, oh no, I didn't tell them anything. I told them lies. And everybody's thinking, yeah, fuck off, you fucking piece of shit. You should have died like a fucking real Skrull. So they're driving to a safe house, but how did the police know to go where our safe house is? That'd be because the dwarf made the phone call. Yeah. Because she's not down with what's going on now, because she understands a little bit more than she knew before.
Because her father said, then maybe you should confront the one who killed him.
We were just talking about that, Vex.
Yeah, no, I got it. I do. I know. I don't know most of their names. So they're driving off into the woods now. Gee, I wonder what's going to fucking happen whenever we drive off into the woods.
Literally, Gravik's name is something different every time he says it.
I don't know.
I just say G-Man.
So they're driving off into the woods, and the fucking, Sicilian, I know what's going to fucking happen here. I know what happens in this scene.
Everyone knows what happens when you drive a dark car in the middle of the woods.
You stop next to a giant hole. This is weird.
Yeah.
And this is just such a cheap attempt to make Gravik look ruthless.
It's kind of basic bullshit, though. It's not anything clever.
I like the shot, though. It kind of stays on her, and then it all happens in the background, and then go out back. I like that.
Yeah, the American is talking to the number 2 dude. And he's like, "Hey, are we almost home, buddy?" He's like, "Yeah, we're almost there. You poor soon-to-be dead motherfucker." Then you got fucking Brainless over here, just fucking looking at him. What's going on? What's happening? And then they wander off into the woods again. If you've seen, although in Goodfellas they fucking killed him in the trunk, it was a lot more interesting.
Right.
Train station.
He's still also like leaning so far back into the freaking car, like, why are you riding like that?
So they're talking about
because he's so cool.
Loyalty. He's talking about loyalty here.
Right.
They're having this conversation.
How Danvers lied, how Fury lied.
Yep. And she's sitting there going, he fucking knows. Because he fucking knows.
He knows.
And I fucking and it's like, okay, you know the trap is pretty much sprung at this point. It's not there yet, but it's coming.
I bet she's thinking, I should have really had some dragons right now.
So you hear
Dracarys.
Definitely dragons would have made the show a little more interesting.
Oh my god, a random dragon here or there. You don't even need to know why they're fucking there. They just pop in and burn some shit and fly out of the scene.
We were talking about just random Thor coming in. How about he rides in on a dragon?
There you go.
Right?
Oh, so he falls asleep. She cries. You hear a gunshot. Now we're coming up on the end here. Nick Fury is in some kind of where you store your vehicles in London if you don't want people to find them.
How long has that been there?
What was that?
How long is that? I mean, there's a lot of dust there. I highly doubt that car is just going to start up.
Maybe an alien tech car disguised.
Wiring and all kinds
well, maybe if it's got any shield tech in it, though, it might.
Maybe, but I'm just like, wow.
That's the Range Rover, then probably not. You're right.
That's been sitting there a while.
So going down the road,
yes, Pops, exactly. Did he check
and then
the
the
oil?
porn music starts playing, and he walks in his house.
It's a lovely home.
Yeah.
There's some, but so you see Green Lady cutting up what appears to be a zucchini and making peppers. She's making some kind of vegetarian dish, which I probably don't approve of. And there's some kind of I don't know if it's like light jazz.
Wait. We saw her at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah,
Yes.
she was the one with the young Gravik.
Yep.
Yeah, she brought the the future terrorist to the fucking meeting. Nice job, bitch.
Okay, I didn't catch that. That's probably after.
Did you highlight different America's chat?
Are you saying all Skrulls look alike?
Jacob, I was thinking the same thing. That was suspiciously like a cucumber. You can cut your finger off really easily there.
Yeah.
Wow, Jacob, that's wow.
Oh my. So Nick wanders and he's wandering through the house, and you don't quite know the vibe yet. And then he walks in the kitchen, and suddenly it's Priscilla Fury, Nick's wife. And you're like, wait a minute, that's peculiar. He puts his wedding band back on because she's making a stern face, and any man knows that a stern face means you have fucked up in some fashion. You may or may not know what it is, but you'll figure it out eventually, or you'll wake up with a pillow on your face going, what happened? And she'll say, nothing, go back to sleep. Anyway,
so yeah, I was to say the wedding ring is inside his house. Is that right? That's what we're going with?
Yeah,
he picks it up off the counter.
All right.
Was it the counter? I thought he had it in his pocket.
No, he had it on a little side
table of
like a key bowl or something.
Yes, or what a serial killer might call a trophy table. So that's what was there. He puts the ring back on, and he's like, "That better?" And she's like, "Fuck yeah!" And he kisses her. Now we're left with the question at the end of the episode: is he married to a fucking Skrull and he knows it? He's hitting that green shit. Or does he not know he's banging a Skrull?
I think he knows.
Also, he's been gone for fucking years, right? And he just walks back into the house like everything's fine. Or am I incorrect in that?
That was my impression. Was I've been gone for like 10 plus years, and I'm just coming in and banging my wife.
So she is a Skrull. I mean, we see that. I think he knows that she's a Skrull, and I think he knows that he married a Skrull. Because that's the only way you can explain how close he is with Talos and the Skrulls, and why he's not necessarily being Nick Fury with the Skrulls. I also think Nick Fury was like pseudo daddy to Gravik, because they tease like he's smart, he's intelligent, he's got good instincts. You could train him, so they tease that he's been trained.
Why he's black?
And I would say Gravik probably picked his human look based on,
That's very
but
possible.
she's probably. Because she's a Skrull, she's probably been going up to Saber. I keep wanting to call it Sword. She's probably been going up to Saber as well. So
either that, or he's been secretly coming down to the house.
He's going down. He's going down.
I don't think he's been coming down. They would know if he's been. They would absolutely know if he's been coming down.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
Sorry. I'm so innocent. I don't get these jokes. Gosh. Like when y'all were talking about scissoring earlier. I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's just when you take one scissor and you take another scissor and you do that to the scissors.
Is that how you sharpen them?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You need some oil in there.
Oh, okay. Cool. It happens naturally though, right? The oil, the lubrication.
Yeah.
Okay. Supposed to. I mean, if you're never mind.
So that's fuck off.
Literally answer that. I'm like,
I mean, we do have our scissor sister in the chat, so
yeah, that's right. Vex, that's right. I told Vex she could pop on. We got about 15 minutes left, so Vex, if you want to pop on for 15 minutes to make inappropriate or whatever comments, that's fine. You're certainly welcome.
Do it.
So we're 2 episodes into this, and
I'm already bored as fuck.
The sad thing is, and I think we've all kind of hit on this, there were moments of this show that are genuinely good, that are usually sandwiched between elements of the show that are fucking horrible.
At least at least for me, it's based on like a scene or two,
okay. Got it.
And it's only because of the individual performances.
Yeah. Agreed.
Other than that, there's nothing redeeming about this show. It is just so meh.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, thus far, this is for me, and you guys, I'd like to hear you on this. I think we agree. Olivia Colman fucking highlighted the show.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
And then Don Cheadle, also, he's my number 2 in this. Those 2 actors are the best part of the show, and you only get, fucking that much of them.
Other than that, it's Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, Ben's doing really
Mendelsohn?
understated stuff, so I like what he's doing, but I'm biased. I'm biased with Ben.
I still think overall, like if these actors were given better scripts, it would have been great in my opinion, because these are some fabulous actors and actresses.
What's bad is they went through and changed the scripts. So Rob Burnett, he got a script for episode 1 and even mentioned like that opening scene is just a shitbag of what it actually was in the initial script. And it seems like the feedback coming back from Disney and Marvel was that it's like, hey, look, we get it. We want to do something darker. We want to do something with spy like tones, but we don't want to go that dark or that serious. So they dumbed it down. And it's like, if you're gonna go there, you need to go there.
And did they?
Well, yeah.
Which is because they had an espionage film, which is arguably one of the best films.
Agreed.
In the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah. No, Zach's no. The answer to your question is no. Samuel L. Jackson is just Samuel L. Jackson kind of wandering around the set, not saying fuck because he'll probably they may have they'll find him or whatever. But otherwise, it's just Sam Jackson wandering around the set and then giving inflammatory interviews later on. That's what you got.
He's also wearing a contact. He's wearing a contact lens
for his
well, that's true.
Scratch.
Yeah, and that interview he gave with your show dropping just almost right after that, and your friend having a film in November, which she's been trying to stay out of controversy, and now you just threw her right back into it because that's the only stuff she's.
Was he drinking a Bud Light while he was sitting in a Target shop? Like the interview.
Maybe.
It's still June. It's a waste though. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this. It's a waste. It's a waste of what could have been, because you see the elements there. Like I said, I think the look of the show is generally very good. I like the score of the show a lot.
Oh, I love that opening score. I really did.
It's reminiscent of old James Bond.
Gypsy.
I thought it's good. And then the problem is you introduce the story, and as soon as you see fucking Bilbo jumping off a fucking roof, that's the speed with which the show fucking goes down. That fucking fast. It's like, oh no. And
you know how they should have done that opening scene? Instead of having Everett Ross go meet up with the guy, they should have had the conspiracy theorist guy get caught by Skrulls, try to escape. He calls for the pickup, like I need help.
And Bilbo picks him up.
And Bilbo gets him and then kills him. And then Talos is coming out. That would have played out so much better. Also, that POV shot was.
It's like we've seen spy movies before.
Go figure. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, part of me is watching this, and look, I don't mind the talking. I come from a theater background. When you're writing, scripts for stage, it's nothing but not musical theater. God, no, not musical theater. Just straight plays, and all you get is talking.
Way better as a musical.
Please don't. Do not give Disney or Marvel any ideas.
God, give something.
But
I'm black and I'm old and I'm
I have a question. So, like, was Bilbo? Was Mr. Baggins always a Skrull? So, like, has this entire time he's been a Skrull, or was he like replaced? Like, I have those kinds of questions. Like, wait, was he a bad guy?
So then was he a Skrull when he was married to Madam Hydra?
That's one of the things that I don't even think they're going to answer that. I don't think they thought of that. I think they were just like, we should pull him in for this.
Wait, did these folks go to the J.J. Abrams School of Writing?
The mystery
probably.
Well, no, because this is Kyle Bradstreet. Kyle Bradstreet wrote this, so he did Mr. Robot, and he's like a fantastic writer. So it's just
Mr. Robot was. I didn't. Although series season 3, seasons 1 and 2 of Robot were very good.
This is what happens when you've got the big wigs in corporate saying what creators are supposed to be able to do. I think that's where a lot of the even if like we said, the actors fabulous, but they were limited by what they were given. I think the same can probably be said for not all, but some directors. I bet you some of those bigwigs are like, hey, you can't do XYZ thing, and that stifles their creativity for bigwig.
Some producers.
You looking at Kevin?
Keep sucking that Chinese honey sausage there, Kevin.
And I bet you it's probably they handed these directors a script hey, this is the script. It's well, wait a second. Don't I have input?
Yeah.
So interesting kind of tie-in story. Major studios drop out of Comic-Con. This is from Fox 5 San Diego reporting. So Marvel Studios is not going to be at Comic-Con. Nope. HBO, Netflix, Sony, Universal, none of them are going to be at the San Diego Comic-Con. Oh.
So it's kind of like Comic-Con's actually going back to its roots.
Not by choice.
Right, not by choice.
And people that have bought tickets have already bought their tickets. And
no, you're stuck with them at this point.
98% of them are not coming for the comics. This is all because of the pending actor strike. I mean, that's why they're pulling out, because the only reason you're going to have these studios there to do a Hall H is to show off your actors, let them say a few words, and then show a clip or a trailer or something like sizzle reel. And if the actors strike, which they have one more day to potentially strike.
It's tomorrow, so they're going to
strike. Yeah, tomorrow's the last day, and if they don't land on it, it's strike. And the actors have already voted to strike, so unless they get a behind-the-scenes deal. But if they do strike, the actors then cannot go, because then it's seen as crossing the picket line.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like with the writer's strike, you cannot write for anyone.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So they can't even show up at a Comic-Con event?
Mm-mm.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't. Sorry.
No, go.
I was going to say, even beyond that, they clearly aren't supposed to be signing deals and stuff too. But yeah, they're not supposed to do any marketing media, because that would technically be part of their job of what they got hired for.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see that from the union's side.
And you're right, though. The problem right now for attendees of Comic-Con is you already bought your fucking ticket.
It kind of is.
You're going to fucking Comic-Con or you're not. I stopped going. What year was the first year that they had it back? 21, I think.
1921. You went to that one?
No, well, I was also at that one. That's true. That
was right after the Spanish flu epidemic.
Yeah.
It really cut down on attendance. It was nice. But I believe 21 was the first one.
Yeah, they did it. They did it. Yeah, they did it in November of 2021, and it was Thanksgiving.
Oh, that was the special one. That was the weird one. I didn't have tickets for that, but it was 22. It was 22. Okay. It was 22. So 22, they were still requiring you to fucking wear the thing on your face at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm like, the fuck I am. California. So I tried to get my tickets back, and they're like, yeah, it said in the fine print of the fucking thing that you bought 5 fucking months ago that you were going to have to do this. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not fucking coming. Fuck yourself. And I lost $100. But you know what? It was worth it to me not to fucking go, because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit. I'm not good at bullshit. It's not my thing. I mean, it's right here. The War of 1812. Wait, but they had those costumes.
They did have some great costumes back then. That is true.
I'm sorry.
It was in New Orleans that year.
My bad. Here, let's go ahead and go around the horn here. So overall, I am going to ask. I'm going to do this again next week. We won't have the preamble of the lead-in, but if you guys want to join me again for this next week, let me know. That way, I can save some time. And
all right, fine.
Bothering you all.
Will it be the same time, same place?
Yeah, same as always. My normal
Thursday
5 o'clock time slot. So Josh, you up or are you busy?
Yeah, no, hey, let's do it.
You up? Okay, Tyler.
It should be good. Yeah. Is anything going to happen in the next episode?
No, nothing's going to.
If we're following,
dude, nothing.
If we're following standard story structure, yes, you're actually going to get something in the next episode.
Okay.
Thank God.
All right, well,
we should
have to see, folks, because I am not sold.
I mean, like, this next episode is going to be halfway through the series, so hopefully we get something.
Yeah. Cosplay is not war. Well, it depends. It depends, Steven. Steven, and also it's really nice to have you out there in the chat tonight. I'm glad you were able to pop in, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
All right. So short of disaster, we will be back next week. This panel repeating the horror that is Secret Invasion. So we'll go around the horror real fast. Shieldwall, what do you got coming up, brother?
Just right now, I still some things in working on a few things, but next week, this show, yeah, for sure. But I will say this, this reminds me of Andor, like Joker was saying, and by this point, I was more invested in Andor than I am in this show.
Yeah, I agree 100%
in that. So Andor had me a little more pulled into what's going to happen. And I really hope that next episode is just not a recap of the first two. Basically, there's something has to go.
Yeah, and he's old.
So hopefully
it's all his fault.
We see some more Olivia Colman.
That's a great lineup from the song. That's good. I'm going to add that to the song.
Hopefully, we see more Olivia Colman in the next episode.
We could have a whole episode about Olivia Colman,
right?
And I wouldn't be at all sad.
So yeah, so thanks for having me on. That's what I got going on. Thanks
right on, brother,
for everybody being here. So yeah,
cool. Mando, what 10,000 things are you going to be on over the next 2 to 5 days?
All right. So, of course, my Saturday show, Literary Souls, is going to be happening 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time every Saturday. This next Sunday, we will not be doing Unplugged. We have switched that over to every other Sunday, but you will definitely see me around on the interwebs. I'm trying to push for monetization soon. I'm already at 206 subscribers on YouTube. So, woo! We're hoping to get monetized, but either by the end of the summer or at least by the time next year starts. That's the hope.
Right on. Good.
Those are goals. I'm still primarily on Twitch, where I stream on Mondays and Tuesdays. And since I'm going to be here next Thursday, we're going to move the Sea of Thieves stream to a different day. I don't know which day, probably Friday. Because we can't go. Sailing is just kind of like, that's my favorite stream to do, is where we just get drunk and sail around in a boat.
I did that for 30 years.
Yes, I was going to say.
We're pirates. It's funner.
Probably, almost certainly. What is Literary Souls going to be about this weekend?
I'm not sure, because I was supposed to get a book a couple days ago for the Saturday show, and the book didn't come in when it was supposed to. So I'm like,
oh no. Well, so I would recommend Who Goes There by John Campbell.
Okay.
It's a
Can I read it in a day?
You can. Yes, you can. You can read it in about 4 hours.
I believe that's the one I read too, right?
That is yes, that is the story the thing is based on.
It's a good one. It's a short read too. I read it in I think a couple hours.
I will find some material to also read.
If you're looking for a short read, that's definitely one that'll work. Or Gone with the Wind, I hear, is also lovely, but you need to read the warning that is in front of it. Josh, my man, what do you got coming up, buddy?
I'm not gonna say Mamie's line of what kind of house person she is. So
I
what's
don't know
going
enough
up?
about birth and no babies, Josh.
So this Saturday, I've got my monthly stream coming up this Saturday, only Josh, and we're going to be kind of touching on freedom and the importance of freedom, and then just kind of sharing some ideas on what your favorite memories are, or favorite traditions are for 4th of July. Every Tuesday, we've got Culture Popped, which is just kind of like a pop culture discussion show. We touch on 3 main topics each week. And then now that I'm done with my licensing stuff and I have more free time at night, we're taking the channel balls to the wall. We have a new show rolling out in July called Graphic Content, and it's going to be where a panel of people discuss a comic, specifically a trade or a graphic novel. And look, we're eventually going to move graphic it where it's weekly instead of monthly. So
Oh,
if you
wow.
like comics, hey, if you like comics, come on board. If you're a film person too, come talk to me because in August we're going to debut Real Talk, which is we're going to go through films each.
Oh wow, dude, you are rolling it out. That's nice.
Oh yeah,
that's good to see. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm doing. So that's good. That's good.
Me too. Yeah.
So cool. Thank you for being here this week, Josh. It's always good to have you here. Tyler and your beard, what you got coming up, buddy?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of like reviews I've been wanting to do, and I'm hopefully going to get some of those out in the next couple of days or so. But yeah, maybe Monday another little something with some Game of Thrones. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Could be some dragons, could be some boobs. I don't know. We'll see about that. But yeah, man, Roman, thanks for having me on.
No, always good to have you, brother. Joker, what do you got coming up, buddy?
Well, let's see. I left a little link in the private chat that if you want to pull that up, I still have got my fundraiser going for the Stuttering Foundation of America.
Give me 1 second here, and I'll bring it up on the screen. I know how to do this now. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I couldn't have done this like a month ago.
Joker, that's a link to Pornhub. What are you doing?
No, I've been avoiding that for
I'm sorry. That was my other tab.
Even worse, it's Japanese Pornhon. So you know you're going
to have to give out the specifics on me, man. Come on.
The law, God.
It's that wholesome family video involving two women in a drinking apparatus.
Nothing to see here. So this is the shirt. This fundraiser is going to the 15th of next month. It's already been going for a little bit. It's been going for 2 weeks now, so we got a few weeks left to go. And 100% of the proceeds are going to the Stuttering Foundation link. I think the link is in the maybe put the link in the chat too. Who knows? And then Friday, I'm dropping my review of Secret Invasion, and then I will be on 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern over on Legion Talk for Friday night's Royal Rumble, talking about the week in pop culture. Brand new trailer for Dune dropped, and it looks badass.
Oh, there's another one for Dune?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it just dropped today.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to check. That's actually a movie that I'm going to go try to see in the theater.
Yes.
I'm excited about that.
And other than that, thanks again for having me. Thank you everyone in the chat who came in from Mando, from me, everybody. So rising tides lift all boats, and Mando was talking about demonetized. I'm like 19 away from 500.
Let's get him there, folks. Let's get him there.
Let's do it.
I need the hours too. So I've got playlists. I got live streams. Just watch them all. You can go vacuum. Just throw them in the background. Just rack up the hours.
Right on. Well, right on. Good. That's great. God, you're like right there, Joker. That's fantastic.
He's also got a lot of weird feet videos too, guys.
Shut up.
Everybody has those. It's
you trying to get hours or not?
A member of the channel, you get the special.
Want them or do you not? I'm trying to help you.
You submitted them, Tyler.
Show off those flippers, man. I'm telling you.
Tyler is a true friend. I'm just letting you know.
Right.
Jesus, this gets so weird every week. So next week we're going to be looking at episode 3, and since we will have a little extra time, I'm going to throw some news on for topics at the end. I want to get through the episode first, and then we can talk about just kind of whatever, because Indy comes out. We're going to have some shit to talk about. I think The Flash will probably be in 15th place at the theater by that point, so that's good. we'll just kind of cover some just quick news stuff at the end. It'll be nice. It
doesn't seem like they're like marketing Indy at all.
No, they don't give a fuck about
they
that.
Know that it's. They know that it's.
You said that, and I was like, "Oh shit, that came out like this."
Most likely,
that was number 3 at the box office this week, folks. Number fucking 3. So,
The Flash.
Yeah, good on you. So anyway, thank you so much to the panel. You guys really brought it tonight. This was a lot of fun. This was a good discussion about a show that's not very good. This was way better than the fucking show, and your ideas certainly were. Thank you to the chat and the multiple chats, because we did a across the board. Everybody's streaming on this show tonight. So it's something new that StreamYard's letting us do. And, why the fuck would we not do that? So right on. So if you haven't subbed to the channel, please do so. There was a bit of a kerfuffle with YouTube this week, and someone lost some subs. And he'd like to get some of them back. Whatever you can do, I do appreciate.
Ring that bell, folks. Ring that bell.
So I won't be doing, again, it's going to be kind of a quiet week for me. Those of you who are in the know about the why of things. So, but the Thursday show is going to be out there. I'm going to try to do an action figure show sometime this week because I have a fuck ton of action figures that are new that I'm going to incorporate into the display, and I want to show off the new wares. And Ego and I did a show on that, just the unboxing, a few days ago. So if you haven't watched that, go over to Left Eye Ego's channel and watch that. And over on Pop's channel, we did a kind of a long form look at Old Man Logan, which is 9,000 times better than the movie. If you haven't read the book, go watch Pop's channel, watch that review, and then go read the fucking comic book, please. So anyway, that's it. That's it for this week. It's been fun. I appreciate everybody being here. And as always, be kind.
Doodles.